Hello people, hello YouTube, welcome to the Style and Luxury channel. I hope you enjoyed this next video. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I will be bringing you shorts, more videos each and every single day. Enjoy. One love.
Brand new 2023 Hyundai Tucson, courtesy of Jack G. Volvo Hyundai in York, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because I'm just going to tell you off the bat, this is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation. So in terms of safety, it doesn't get any better than the Tucson. There is a ton of space in this thing. It comes with America's best warranty, being 5 years, 60,000 mile bumper to bumper, 10 years, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. You also get 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance as well, so that's going to save you some money there. So ultimately in this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2023 Tucson. First one being the SE, starting at $26,450. SEL, which is the one we are in today, starting at $28,050. XRT for $33,275. N line for $33,325. And lastly, the limited starting at $35,710. That was all pricing though for the front wheel drive configuration. If you wanted to add all-wheel drive, you can do that. Simply add $1,500 then to any of those prices. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Tucson is actually going to be the same. So powering the beast is a 2.5 liter direct injected inline 4-cylinder, putting out 187 horsepower at 6,100 RPM, 178 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,000 RPM. Power center front wheels are all wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters for the limited trim level only. So we don't have them today, but I did want to mention it. 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 7.1 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 26 in the city, 33 highway for the front wheel drive, 24 in the city, 29 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking regular unleaded fuel. But so that before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our Tucson, I wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes. There is actually a drive mode toggle switch located directly behind the shifter. It will include normal, sport, smart, and snow, essentially adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and put it in sport driving mode. Let's find a straightaway here, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Hyundai Tucson here up to speed. All right, smidge bit of a rolling start, but let's do it here. It's loud. All right, just got done driving the G70, so it's nothing compared to that, obviously, but shouldn't have any issues in merging onto the highway. Quite honestly, 0 to 60 at 7.1, it did feel like that. It did feel a little bit slower, so not the quickest thing in the world, like I said, but again, you shouldn't have any issues in merging onto the highway. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 12.8-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.8-inch solid rear discs. As far as the 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, that is going to come in at a respectable 124 feet. Quite honestly, that's pretty much par for the course. I've seen SUVs come in as high as 139 feet, but 124 is pretty much average, so there's nothing wrong with that. Braking feel is, it's actually kind of on the firmer side of things, which I don't mind. So a lot of times with SUVs, it's kind of on the looser side. So again, pretty much on par for the course there. Then touching on suspension and handling, independent McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, gas pressurized shock absorbers, of course. As far as ride quality goes, that's probably the first thing I kind of muttered to myself when I first started driving this one, is this thing is a pretty darn smooth ride for what it is. So I expected to feel a little bit more of the road, but quite honestly, the Tucson kind of surprised me. So very smooth ride for this thing not having an adaptive suspension or an air suspension like you find in luxury vehicles, of course. But as far as steering feel goes, it tends to lean a little bit on the heavier side of things. It is a heavier steering feel than my Hyundai Sonata I drive on a daily basis, so I do actually kind of like that. As far as cabin noise goes, I am going 50 miles per hour right now. You guys can probably tell there is a little bit of engine noise, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot of exterior wind or road noise. So like I said when I hit the gas originally, you do hear the engine a little bit, but everything else is pretty much on point, so no issues there. And that may be due in part because there is an acoustic laminated front windshield coming standard for all trim levels across the board. You don't always get that on all other manufacturers out there, so I do want to emphasize that. Touching on visibility, I can see 100% perfectly fine out my rear view mirror, so definitely not going to have any issues there. And if you wanted rain sensing windshield wipers, you can get them. They do come standard on the limited trim level. Essentially what that is when you're driving down the road and the Tucson detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers for you. So it's kind of like automatic headlights. Definitely a very convenient kind of little feature there as well. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Hyundai Tucson. All right, so here she is, you guys. The new 2023 Hyundai Tucson, finished in intense blue, is the name of our exterior color, in case you were curious. But as always, let's go ahead and start up front on the front grille here. There is a large dark front grille that will come standard, but my very favorite part, integrated or incorporated LED daytime running lights. So to the sides there of the front grille, they're actually daytime running lights. So I absolutely love that. It's like nothing else on the road right now, and it really gives the Tucson a distinct or unique look, comparatively speaking, to all other SUVs out there right now. So huge fan of that. In case you were curious, where's the headlights? They're actually just below those LED daytime running lights. The headlights are going to be down below here. It's actually front air curtains then to the side, but headlights again down below. They're actually LED headlights that come standard across the board as well. So no halogens on this thing. Wonderful there. So added illumination at night. Automatic feature coming standard on the Tucson as well, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. Automatic high beams, though, also coming standard. That isn't always the case on other manufacturers out there. So when you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bump it back up to high beams. And as far as that Hyundai emblem up front, I did want to mention this. It's either going to be finished in chrome, like you're currently looking at, of course, or a dark finish to kind of tie in with that front grille. So two different options available there. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of the Tucson. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so but now making our way to the side of this one. Roof rails will actually come standard on all trim levels across the board. Now, if you're looking at those crossbars up there, they are not standard. They are an accessory available by the manufacturer that Jack Giambalvo added onto this one. So I do want to emphasize that, but they look pretty darn good up there, I will say that. Upper silver window trim that kind of ties into the floating roof line at the C-pillar there. So definitely a very unique look to the Tucson there as well. Rear privacy glass, of course, coming standard. But one of the things I really like about the Tucson, it kind of reminds me of the Elantra a little bit, is the Z-shaped crease on the side of this thing. So you guys can kind of see the front and rear doors have that Z-shaped crease, and definitely gives it a more sportier look in my personal opinion. And again, the Elantra has the same thing, so it kind of ties together pretty darn well with the Elantra there. Then taking a look at the side mirrors, though, body colored power adjustable side mirrors will come standard. They are also heated with LED integrated turn signals. That is pretty cool there as well. Taking a look at the wheel setup, 17-inch alloys coming with the SE and SEL trim levels. However, I will say there are some optional wheel setups for the SEL like we have today, but 19-inch alloys essentially coming on all the other trim levels, including the N-Line, the XRT, and the Limited, each with their own unique design. So they are going to differentiate themselves dependent upon the trim level. So overall, a very good looking side profile here. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back of the Tucson. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of this one, looking all the way to the top there, you will find a gloss black shark fin antenna, regardless of which exterior color that you go with on the Tucson. So that is pretty cool. Rear spoiler with an integrated brake light, of course, as typical SUV fashion there. Rear window wiper. Where's the rear window wiper, you might ask? Let me show you guys. It's actually tucked underneath that rear spoiler there. So it's gonna kind of assist with rear visibility there because it is tucked away. And I know the Suburban does that, the Tahoe does that. So I actually personally like that because, again, the alternative is the rear window wiper asphyxiated to the rear glass, and that does impede visibility slightly. But speaking of the rear glass, Hyundai logo is not actually on the vehicle, but it's incorporated into that rear glass. So I did want to mention that. It's a little bit different than most other manufacturers out there. So that's kind of a unique design element there. Of course, you do have LED taillights. That's going to come standard on the SEL trim level and up if you wanted them. One of my favorite parts, I remember mentioning this last year, the diamond pattern indentations found on the rear bumper there, and it's kind of a 3D effect, so it's not a smooth effect but rather 3D. So I did kind of like that. And of course there is a single exhaust outlet tucked away underneath there, so Having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here